For centuries, the Galactic Union's hidden test had determined which species could be trusted with true power. The Elders called it the Crucible, an engineered nightmare zone designed to break the spirit of any civilization daring to expand beyond its place. They tested the Vari, whose sleek cities floated on clouds. They crumbled. The Ishan, wise but brittle, shattered within weeks. Even the Karate, a race of stone-skinned warriors, fell to their knees when the Crucible's storms rose and the predators hunted at night. But then came the humans, the so-called Deathworlders. A species born on a planet where nearly everything could kill them. Storms that ripped apart cities, diseases that burned through whole populations, apex predators that stalked the forests even in the age of fusion drives. When the Union finally opened the Crucible to humanity, the Council smirked behind closed doors. Let the upstart mammals try. Let them fail like the rest. The Crucible was a vast, isolated world. A labyrinth of deserts that stretched for thousands of miles. Forests that moved when no wind blew. Oceans infested with serpents longer than starships. Every species that entered left behind broken bones and silent beacons drifting in orbit. General Isaac Moreau led the first human test squad. Not an army, but a mismatched band of explorers, engineers, and survivalists. The Union observers watched from orbital stations, placing bets on how long they'd last. A week, a month at best. On day 3, a sandstorm swallowed Moreau's camp, burying rations, shelters, and half their gear. The predators came next, razorhounds that struck in the darkness. Any other species would have signaled for extraction right then. Instead, the observers listened in disbelief to the humans' comms. Laughter echoing through the static, jokes traded, while the team huddled around a makeshift fire of shredded tent fabric and predator bones. Hell of a camping trip, Moreau chuckled, gnawing on roasted razorhound flank. Pass me that spine, makes a good spear. By week 2, the humans were thriving. They mapped the Crucible's terrain on old paper when their drones failed. They purified water by hand. They tamed a pack of the very razorhounds that once hunted them, using them to scout and guard their camp. At the Council's high chamber, Elder Islin of the Observer Cast watched the reports with growing dread. They should be breaking by now, he hissed to his aides. What are they doing instead? The aide's voice trembled. Building, Elder. They're building things. Deep in the Crucible's heart, Moreau's team dug bunkers into cliff faces. They jury-rigged solar stills, booby traps, and signal towers. They hunted the serpents that slithered through the salt flats, harvesting armored hides for makeshift armor. When the Crucible's mega-hurricane came roaring in, the final trial that once scattered entire karate clans to the winds, the humans didn't run. They laughed again, bolted the bunker doors, and played cards by flashlight while the world howled outside. Storm'll pass, Moreau said, tossing down a winning hand. And when it does, we'll see what else this place has for us. It was supposed to be impossible. The Crucible was never meant to be conquered, just endured. But humans didn't endure, they adapted. They didn't just survive, they made the impossible feel like home. By month 6, when the Council finally lowered the test's shielding to extract the inevitable survivors, they found instead a small human settlement, smoke curling from chimneys, hydroponic rows sprouting in old sand pits. Children ran laughing with their tamed hounds. General Moreau stood at the landing zone, hands on his hips, grinning up at the Elders' descending shuttle. He was sunburned, scarred, and very much alive. So how'd we do? He called out as the ramp hissed open. Elder Isilin stepped into the sunlight, his robes snapping in the breeze. He looked around at the humans, at the thriving gardens, at the Crucible that had never looked so tamed. You were meant to be humbled, he said, voice trembling. To prove you would submit. Moreau barked a laugh that echoed down the cliffs. Submit? To what? You dropped us in a death trap and called it a test. Where we come from, that's called Tuesday. Behind him, the rest of the team gathered, grinning, scarred, and very much unbroken. A new settlement sign hung crookedly on the stone wall behind them. Its name was simple: Perseverance. The message spread like wildfire across the Union. The Crucible was dead. The test had failed. The Deathworlders hadn't just passed. They'd laughed. And so, the Elders wrote a new line in their records. One whispered in fearful respect for centuries to come. Never test a species that calls hell home.